Welcome back to the George Creek Road. Here's about where I stopped back about almost 2 years ago when my car was a week old. Just took a look at it. I think I can do it now. You can certainly tell there was a fire around here. I think this fire was started by multiple lightning strikes the day I came out from my Dumbbell Lakes trip. Ultimately, it would end up closing the Whitney Portal area for a few days as it crept close to there, but as you can see, it certainly burned a lot here. So the plan today is for a little reconnaissance hike up George Creek. I'm hoping to make it as far as this camp area, which is at about the 9,000 foot level. Don't think I'll make it to any summits today. But just kind of get a feel for what this is like so that future trips can be easier. First up though is conquering the road. Well, that definitely wasn't too hard. Definitely some slipping and sliding going on. Didn't need X mode, but it probably would have made it a little prettier. There's one more obstacle that I remember, and that's kind of a big rock right near the top of this hill before it descends to the creek. Well, I made it to the end of the road. Unfortunately, the road ends rather abruptly under that big tree up there. There's not a lot of place to turn around, or park for that matter. I managed to get myself turned around and parked back at this little spot. But at least I know the car can make it to the end. Came across these guys as I came up this morning. Looks like they're going to be out for a few days. You can sure see all the tin cans and beer bottles after the fire comes through here. Alright, time to get started. I guess this was the big rock I was afraid of. Not as formidable as I was thinking. So this is basically all the area I had to turn around with. It was enough. I certainly can't go up here. Maybe Bob's Jeep can, but certainly not my car. There's a fire ring here. It sure looks like a good place to park. If only I could get there. That should be the main creek right there. Not too bad so far. Definitely still some evidence of burn. I quickly crossed the creek at the beginning. I'm now on the south side, following what looks like a beaten down path, or a lot of footprints anyway. And just as soon as I say I'm on the south side, I cross back to the north side. This looks more like a good trail. I'll stick with it for a while. Yeah, this is very good. But I know it won't last. Welcome sight. We're back on the other side of the creek again. Just as soon as I say that, we crossed over and then immediately almost crossed back over again. Good trail again. I was just thinking I should probably be over there. This little scrambling part next to this big rock face is pretty cool. Then I found a big old marker. Well, the better beaten down path that I was hoping for is materializing. So I'm happy about that. Some good ducks too to mark the route. Looks like we could probably cross the creek on this log if we had to. But the marker says no, don't. Nice and shaded in here still. This has obviously seen some foot traffic. Yuck. Looks like you can continue up that way. A few ducks are saying otherwise. So across I think we're gonna go. Looks like there might be a trail at the base of this big rock thing. Saw that upstream from the recent crossing. Looks to be getting pretty cliffy over there. That's probably why they crossed. Might even see another duck down there. Although it looks like quite a bushwhack to get to this point from there. Isn't that what this is supposed to be though, a bushwhack? Still doing pretty good. Should be just about 7,000 feet. Started at about 62 or so. And a little bit above the trees on this big rock. Not totally sure where to go from here. Looks like maybe straight ahead over here. Might have gotten too low back there and to climb up something kind of steep. I think we're back on the trail now. Side you gotta climb pretty high to get above these cliffs. Looks like our side is still working though. Well, we climbed onto this ridge line a bit above the creek, which looks like it's quite bushy. Looks like Bob went down there last time. On his way to Barnard East. We're going to try and stay high over here, I guess. I think I spotted a trail on the other side of the creek. That'd be the south side again. It looks like a horrendous bushwhack to get over there. I found a clearing that got me to the creek, but can't get across here very easily. So I'm headed back. After a couple more attempts to cross the creek, I managed to find a way across. Still had to push through some pretty heavy bushes, knock down a couple of stinging nettles. We're back on the side with the Karens. Looks like this is one of the forks in the canyon, but I don't think this is how you go up to Carl Heller yet. That should be the first turnoff, but it's not this one, I don't think. Could be wrong, though. Hey, look at that. George Creek's coming out of the bushes. Looks like you can cross right there if you wanted to. Not exactly sure what's up there if you'd want to go that way, but it's possible. Still pretty good following the trail. This should be the south fork that goes up towards Carl Heller. No easy place to cross here, though. We'll keep looking. Just a little bit further above that attempted crossing. I wonder if this is where the campsites are. They're just about 9,000 feet. This looks like a much better crossing of this little creek. Just past the creek crossing. This looks a little bit better. A little more room to spread out some tents. A little further away from the creek too, so it's quieter. Try going a little further. So the camp is down there. That should be the way to Carl Heller. I think we're still on the trail, more or less. This is looking better. This is a pretty gentle stretch. Easy terrain, gentle grade, but climbing. Not sure where the trail went to, but don't really need it through here. Might even find another place to camp up here. Should be about 9,500 feet right now. I'll try to get up to at least 10. Well, that was a very nice stretch of trail, or terrain, I should say, not really a trail. Nothing like the nightmares I've heard about this place. So I think if you want to go to Williamson, you got to go up that way. I'm guessing Trojan and Barnard are up this way. I'm not sure what's to the right up there, or the left. I'll probably go up to that little bench that looks like at the base of that big cliff and stop there for the day. This should be about where George Creek starts to braid quite a bit on the maps. Okay, I think I'm ready to stop. Trojan and Barnard should be up there. Still several thousand more feet. Doesn't look like there is much up this fork, the left fork I was talking about earlier. But what is here is a nice little lake. Looks pretty shallow too, that might mean it's nice and warm. Showed up on my GPS's map data as a meadow. Unfortunately, today it's not. Well, that was certainly not warm. I think that was one of the coldest swims I've had yet this year. Guess there must be some glaciers or something up here melting and keeping this lake topped off. Alright, time to start on down. Hope I don't get back in the dark. Should be able to move quite a bit faster down the hill. So the route to Williamson from this side should be over here. Looks like a bunch of sandy mess. that's, I guess, the main fork of George Creek. Coming to the confluence with the South Fork. Pretty quick descent, as I'd hoped. Still nobody here at this camp. There's two guys I was said there was a couple of the people that were supposed to start today. Maybe I'll see them on the way down. Kind of looks like there's a trail junction here. This is the one I thought went up canyon towards Carl Heller. And so I took the lower one. That's what led to the crossing that we couldn't do. Now on the way down, when I came back from the camp, I did come down this other trail, so I guess this is not where you turn off to go to Carl Heller. Guess you just gotta make your own way for that. I've now passed where I crossed over to this side earlier today, so I have not been on this part of the trail yet. So we'll see how long this holds out. And the sun has gone down behind the mountain, so I should be in the shade the rest of the day. Still got well over an hour of daylight, so I'm good on that. I think this is the cliff section that we figured the trail would have to go really high to avoid. But it's doing okay right here at the base of the cliffs. Getting pretty close to the creek, so the bushes are getting bigger. It's a little narrow through here, right up against the cliff, but it works. Right next to the creek, too. I think we're back in the more bushwhacky part. That's good. Just over a mile left to go back to the car. Well, that was certainly a fun little section. But we still got the trail. We still got the markers. And we're still on the south side. Ran into a cliff here. Came right down to the creek. Had to cross it on some slippery rocks. Good news is my boots are still somewhat waterproof. They worked. That didn't take long. Right back on the other side again. Just got to go around that little obstacle right there. Cross back right through here. I guess we go up through here. Another cliff. Looks like there's also an option here for a high bypass. It looks like the dismount might be a little tricky. Nice little forested section. Minimal bushwhacking. A lot of dead wood on the ground, but that's not so bad. Almost easier than what I did last weekend going through Blue Canyon. Looks like I came right through here earlier. Yes, the waterfall. Seems to me to cross the creek a little bit downstream of here. Maybe that was when we stayed on that side. Guess I'll have to try to cross back over there and then get back. So on the way up, we probably came up this way and kept going up, staying on the north side. I think what you want to do just above that waterfall is head down here go downstream slightly, and try to cross back to the south side over there, and then stay there. This should be the last crossing you need to do, except for that quick one a little ways further up. Okay, I'm back. To the road, anyway. That last little bit got a little tricky. It was getting dark as the sun had set. And I couldn't tell which side of the creek I was supposed to be on, but I made it back. And there's the car. Great day. There's probably room to park a couple of cars here. It looks like there's 3 trucks down here. So there is some parking up here near the end of the road. Almost 12 hours. Yep, pretty slow overall, but that's George Creek for you.